Hello and good morning. We are about to take a 338-mile drive to drop our son back off at college and then come back. Now, last time I did this was 306 miles. We're going a little further because we're going to have a little adventure and maybe change up the charging. There's a new Kwik Trip charger in West Salem, Wisconsin that I'd like to test out. It's supposed to be a really slick setup, so I'll be capturing some of the details about that. So yeah, we're going to go UW La Crosse. We'll go out to West Salem to charge up. And then, depending on time, I may just do Circle K in Rochester, or if I've got the time, I'm going to actually take a little bit longer drive to Owatonna to use a supercharger to do my final charge before returning home. The gasometer is currently at 315 miles. We know that that's not right because it is only 8 degrees out. Feels like -4. The wind is 8 miles an hour out of the northwest with gusts up to 18 miles an hour out of the northwest. So that'll be somewhat of a help on the way down, but if that wind continues on the way back, that will negatively impact us. So yeah, looking forward to the trip. Great Thanksgiving week with the family, and I will see you at the West Salem Kwik Charge. Okay, drop off complete, and we are on our way to the Kwik Trip charger. So far we're at 1.6 miles per kilowatt hour. We have went 151 miles, 0.5 miles. Yeah, I think with the tailwind, 1.6 isn't bad. I'm interested to see how the charger works. So this charger is so new that it exists on PlugShare. It does not exist in a Better Route Planner. And I'll have to check when we get there if it's in the Ford navigation. The other interesting thing is a Better Route Planner has recently upgraded their software to version 5.5, and now it operates as like a main navigation, meaning it's integrated into my main dash, and that's a good and a bad thing. It's nice because it has like all the integrations that Apple Maps and Google Maps have into the truck, with exception of like battery preconditioning for the next charger. The bad thing is that I used to use Apple Maps in the background to tell me about crashes or speed traps, things like that. And the Better Route Planner uses software called Mapbox, so it's not, I don't find it as dependable or as intelligent as Apple Maps or Google Maps as far as the navigation capabilities. And it's interesting, like, I can only, in the past, I would run a Better Route Planner all the time, and I could run it in parallel with Apple Maps, Ford navigation for when I was trying to precondition the batteries. It was kind of a nice complement, and I would have the audio on for Apple Maps, not for a Better Route Planner. Again, that part kind of stinks. So yeah, I'm gonna continue to play with version 5.5. I'm actually gonna ask them if they're going to allow a feature to disable it as a primary navigation so that I can continue to use Ford navigation to precondition the battery. I do like the data that a Better Route Planner presents, and that's why I have it as my primary screen during these videos. You can see what charge we're at, what charge we should be at, state of charge when we get to our destination, all of that good stuff. So I know that it'll continue to get better. I just really wish that they would switch to Apple and or Google Maps for their navigation engine. So yeah, we'll check out this charger. I'm gonna do a more elaborate video of this charger. It's pretty cool. It has CCS1 and NACS. For the sake of just doing it, I'm gonna try to target an NACS plug and then use my NACS or NACS to CCS1 adapter just to test it out. Again, my battery is only at 50 or 51 degrees. So I don't know how fast I'll charge, but I'm thinking we'll do better than what we do at the Dahl Ford station. We always top out at like 112 kilowatts. So I'm hopeful it'll be better. This is about 15 minutes out of the way. So I'm not necessarily gaining time, but based on the Dahl charging performance, probably not going to lose much time. The cost difference, Dahl Ford is it's the best DC fast charger I've been to. It's 35 cents a kilowatt hour, no connect fees, nothing like that. This is 45 cents a kilowatt hour, so 2 cents more expensive than Circle K. The other thing that the Kwik Trip charger doesn't have is a way for me to know like how many stations are available. Are they up or down? I checked PlugShare this morning before I left, and people were charging on it yesterday and said they had a great experience. So I'm kind of crossing my fingers that it's working. There's no indicator here because it's not in a better route planner yet. Don't know if Kwik Trip has APIs for them to tie into to determine charger status, all that kind of stuff, how busy it is. So we will find all that out. This is relatively new for Kwik Trip. The hardware, the infrastructure seems very promising. It is high speed. It has both adapters. They seem to have a really cool physical setup with like a sun shade or whatever over. There was a Honda Prologue. So yeah, it seems to be a pretty slick setup. Excited to check it out. So we will see when we get there. So here's the Target, and the Dahl Ford station is right behind it. It's 10:36 a.m. Let's see how much further the Kwik Trip charger is. So this is pretty cool. You can see perhaps in the back there's a separate overhead area. And it says Kwik Charge. So I think I'm gonna back in. So there's 4 spots. They have chargers on the front and back, and each charger has CCS and NACS. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so here's the charger. You can see it's got NACS on this side and CCS on this side. It's even got the label there. I didn't see that on the other side here. Yep, NACS up top. This is nice. They have self-serve window wash. A lot of chargers don't have that. You can see they have a second charger here as well. And then, yeah, 2 more for those spots. So 4 charging spots in total. 45 cents a kilowatt hour, up to 400 kilowatts DC. I imagine it splits it to... Oh no, it shouldn't split it. It's just a single one. So I'm going to geek out a little bit. I'm going to use my A2Z adapter. I do have the Ford one with me as well, but just feel like testing this one out today. So plug in first to start. So I've plugged that in. There's that. Authenticate your session.
Authorizing.
There we go. Payment in process.
Thank you.
Payment made successfully. Here's some clicking. All right, there's some winding up in one of the boxes over there. I'm liking what I'm seeing. We're already up to 144. Well, this is terrific. 164. It's trying to flirt with 165 kilowatts. So yeah, let's see what happens. 1053. Put you back in the truck and try to capture the charging time. So I just saw the charger going over 170 kilowatts. That's incredible. That's, I think, rivals the top I've ever seen charging this truck. Okay, so we've been charging for 45 minutes. We've added 182 miles and 81.2 kilowatt hours. We're now down to a charge rate of like 55.3 kilowatts, or here it shows 55. But yeah, we're going for 84%. This has been an awesome experience. Again, I use the NACS adapter with my A2Z, the NACS connection with my A2Z adapter, just to have the garbage here, to have the self-serve for the window washing is very slick. I'm very happy with this station. It's been great. I stopped in, had some lunch, not the healthiest lunch, but convenient, as always, with Kwik Trip. So a very big fan of their setup here. I hope they do more and more of these. This is really cool. We are now at 84%. So I will hit that button there. I can disconnect. Sorry for the video. There, disconnected my adapter. Close the lid. And I am on my way. Let's recalibrate here. So the GOM, we're at 84% state of charge. It says 211 miles of range on the guessometer. We have, it's not going to tell us right now. Let me do this. To get to the Owatonna charger, we've got 122 miles to go. Again, there's a 10 mile an hour northwest breeze. And so we are going to face some headwind on the way back. I'm actually going to pull up. So yeah, 11 miles an hour and then 20 mile an hour gusts. But we have 122 miles to go, and that should get us there with 10% charge. So hopefully that's conservative. Feels like we're kind of pushing it a little bit, but we're at 84%. I think we're pretty safe. I didn't go over like I typically like to. Well, let's give it a run. See, now this is what I hope that they incorporate with Kwik Trip, where they have data that they can reveal to other sites and services showing how many chargers are available. Right now, it looks like there's about 9 out of 12 superchargers in Owatonna available. You can keep an eye on that as it changes as we approach our destination. The other thing that I'm liking about this route is when I'm going through Rochester, and up to 52, I don't get to use Blue Cruise very much because there's so many like off turns and potential cross traffic, which Blue Cruise does not operate with. I believe that I will be able to use Blue Cruise all the way to 35 and then of course up 35, which makes it a more pleasant drive. So here we are approaching the Dahl Ford charger. I'm gonna put some numbers up when I publish this video, but when you look at 35 cents per kilowatt hour versus 45 at the Kwik Trip charger, it's certainly cheaper by a decent percentage. I definitely paid more charging here. Also, because we're going to Owatonna, I had to charge more to get there to the Tesla Supercharger than I would have getting to the Rochester Circle K. So, you know, is it worth it? Time, money, all that kind of stuff. It is further away. It is more expensive. It does go faster. I don't think, you know, had I went to the Owatonna Supercharger, from the Dahl Ford charger, I'm guessing that I would have had to have charged even longer at Dahl Ford. It just takes longer. If you're topped out at 110 or 112 kilowatts, I was going even 120 at like 60%. It dropped down to about 50 or something like that when I hit 80%. So I probably would have been charging for about an hour or more had I tried to do this trip now. Again, wind, cold is a factor. If I were to do this in the summer, no big deal. It would have been a shorter charge and all of that. But yeah, I'll put some analysis up. I think that could be valuable information. So before my Vikings game starts here, just wanted to point out we're actually at 1.2. My dash says 1.1 miles per kilowatt hour. So headwind is definitely playing a factor going this direction. If you remember, we had 1.5 miles per kilowatt hour on the way here with somewhat of a tailwind. The good thing is a better route planner took that into account. I mean, I just climbed out of a valley and everything else, so I've got things going against me, but we were supposed to arrive at 10% originally. We've already gotten to 13%. So if that number continues to climb, that's great. And I think that that's just another example of like what a better route planner does for you. Kind of planning worst case scenario. It's always pretty conservative. We'll have to see what state of charge we end up at in the Owatonna Supercharger. Also, I used my A2Z adapter at Kwik Trip just because I could, even though they had CCS adapters. I will use the official Tesla / Ford NACS to CCS1 adapter when I get to the Tesla Supercharger. The other nice thing about the Supercharger is that it's plug-and charge capable. So Ford has a relationship with Tesla, of course, and I don't have to use the app. I can. If I had a membership, I would want to use it in order to get the lower rate. But yeah, when you're comparing at 49 or 52 cents, we'll double check when we get there. At the Tesla Supercharger, the 45 cents at Kwik Trip isn't too bad, and like comparable charging speeds and all that kind of good stuff. I think what I'm most excited about with those Kwik Trip chargers is that they are 800 volt capable. So if you were to have like a Silverado EV, that thing would charge so fast compared to this. So it's only going to get better, and it's going to be really exciting to see over the next few years. You know, could you bring a truck this size in there and be in and out in, 15 to 25 minutes versus the 45 that I spent? I think that's going to be a huge gain for people who are worried about charging times and all of that. We're almost there. We ended up with 1.3 miles per kilowatt hour at just under 118 miles. And so, yeah, we recovered a bit. I was at about 1.1 when we had started the trip. And so that's not too shabby. I was pleased on the recovery. What's going to be interesting here is you can see on the circle diagram here, about half of the chargers are available. If people went every other, I take up 2 spots. So unless there's a pull-up or a pull-through spot, I may have to wait here a little bit, or unless people are parked side by side. But there's kind of a habit among Tesla drivers to do every other my impression is from like the V1, or I'm sorry, the V2 superchargers, which halved your power. You would get half between 150 kilowatt charger. So it seems to just be habit to do that. But yeah, I guess we'll find out here when we pull up. The other thing I was thinking about was I was a bit surprised. I hadn't taken 14 before. Basically to have not have exit ramps and having traffic merge directly onto the freeway, that kind of road disables Blue Cruise. So I was hoping to have Blue Cruise as a continuation. That did not occur. So I don't know. This path, even though it's a little bit longer, may not be worth it in the long run. I was thinking if it was Blue Cruise all the way through to 35, that would be well worth it in my opinion, just for an easier drive, but not the case. Worth the experiment. Let's check out the Supercharger. I think I see a Cadillac Lyric also taking up 2 spots. Oh, there's plenty of chargers. I think I'm set. So I'm actually going to try to take this end one. End up taking up 2 spots anyhow. All right, so where are we at here? We're at 119.7 miles at 1.4 miles per kilowatt hour in the end. 5% climate use, 86% driving, and 1% accessories, 8% exterior temperature. Now I did do a 3D print. It's pretty cool. This 3D print fits right in your glove box, kind of keeps the Tesla/Ford adapter contained within the glove box, which is nice. So let me go plug it in. I'm going to use the Blue Oval network, so I just plug it in and I don't have to do anything with the app. And there we go. It's spinning up. Let's take a look at my battery temperature is here. So the battery temp is actually still at 73.4. That's pretty good. Looks like I'm already over 100. The charge rate. 156.2 already. That's great. 157. So see, the Circle K charger tops out at like 140 something for me. And then that dull Ford tops out at only like 112. Today with both Kwik Trip topping out at 170, low 170s, and then now this one at 158.1. Not too shabby. As far as like how long we need to be here and everything, it says about 11 minutes. We need to go to 39%, and that should get me home at 10%, which is fine for today. I have to make one stop before I get home, which isn't a big deal. So yeah, 160.6 right now. That's pretty good. Not going to complain about that. Oh yeah, and I think I forgot to mention the cost for this charger is 49 cents a kilowatt hour. So not bad. Only 4 cents more expensive than the Kwik Trip one, or 6 cents more than Circle K. For the convenience, not too shabby. It performs well. I think the bottom line is it's just nice to have options. All right, the Kwik Trip one, I love Kwik Trip convenience stores. Made the comment earlier that my meal wasn't healthy. That was my choice. They do have healthy food for me to eat there. 163.3. 164. It just keeps climbing. This is wonderful. Okay, we made it. 13 minutes. I'm at 39%. So I'll go disconnect and we will be on our way. We should be back by about 2:04. And yeah, like I said, I have a pit stop to make, but man, it was awesome. Charging at 150, 160 some kilowatt is terrific. I think I like the A to Z adapter better. I just don't care for this extra latch. It's kind of a two-handed operation versus the A to Z. I push one button and I can detach it from the car and from the Tesla cable, or the NACS cable. Yeah, pretty slick. Fits right in the glove box. It's shaped for it. So I was wrong. That's not a Lyric. It's a Chevy Blazer. Looks pretty sharp. I think that's the first one I've seen up close. Chevy's doing a good job in the market. I'd like to see Ford pick it up a little bit more. So yeah, 52 miles remaining, getting there at 11%. I think an important point to make on what I said earlier about a better route planner playing a conservative. I'd rather have that. One of my first experiences driving this vehicle in March of this year when it was cold was the guessometer suggested that I could make it from up north to home on an 80% charge. And thankfully it called it out soon enough, but I was pulling into St. Cloud and it was like, oh, wait a minute, I guess you need to charge. And had I not been actively using their navigation, I would have been in trouble, because there really wasn't anything until perhaps Monticello or further. And, being so new, I'd rather have, instead of it being overly optimistic, I'd rather have like this percentage climb as we go versus go down. I have had ridiculous headwinds where it has gone down. And in that case, I slowed my speed, which helps tremendously. And also I ended up drafting a truck much like this with that headwind. And it was very interesting because I saw where my ending percentage was getting down to like 6 and 5. I started to draft like this. And the next thing you know, it was like 6, 7, 8 over the course of only like 15 minutes. And it happened to be a Walmart truck. It pulled off in Little Falls, and I continued on my trip and kind of went back to normal speed, and that bought me enough charge to make it. But I would say that was probably the first time that I had ever, as you would say, maybe puckered up a little bit driving, because it was, I think I got back with 15 miles or 5% of my state of charge. So yeah, that was a little crazy, but there are ways you can kind of game it and limp it along. The big one is simply slow down. It takes a lot of juice to be pushing 70, 75 miles an hour. If you slow down to 60, 65, or even 55, better yet, it's amazing how much juice you can save. I'm going to make a stop, so I'll give the summary now and end the video. So on this leg, we went 46.3 miles since we went to the Tesla Supercharger, 1.4 miles per kilowatt hour. The trip ended, it did up to 20 degrees when we were on 35. I see it as 19 now. So yeah, 8% climate use, 83% driving, 1% accessories, 8% exterior temperature. My current state of charge is 13%. So, getting down there. I only have about 20 miles of range to go, but I'm pretty much done driving for the day. My off-peak charging will kick in when I get back, as it is a Sunday. And so if I do need to run some quick errands, I'll get a little bit of charge if I just give it an hour or so. Hopefully this was educational, a little bit break of the norm because of the charging destinations that we used. and changing it up a little bit. Okay, so 329.5 miles in total, 1.4 miles per kilowatt hour, 8% climate, 82% driving, 1% accessories, 9% exterior temperature. And then to make it very clear, at the beginning of the drive, I did precondition the cabin and set a departure time, which means that it preconditioned the battery as well. Very important at an 8-degree Minnesota morning temperature. So that's a big help when you're doing a trip like this, is to warm the battery from your wall power instead of using the battery to do that, because that really just counts against you. So again, thank you. Have a good day. See you next time.